Hello everyone. Today's topic problems on proper cantilever beams. So earlier we have discussed about proper cantilever beams, what are the definitions and how to solve the unknown equations of proper cantilever, that is calculation of proper reaction, and also how to draw shear force and bending moment diagrams for one or two problems. And today we'll focus on more problems. We'll try to solve more problems. Yes, before that, based on our previous classes, we need to discuss a little about deflection of beams, because we are going to use deflection of beams formulas to find out the prop reaction over here. And in my view, it is better to touch our overview of deflection of beams topic. Then only we can and I mean, if you directly view my directly attend to this class also without basics of deflection of beams, you can able to understand with this overview. I think in that way it is very useful, and therefore we have to discuss a little about deflection of beams before starting the problems again. Okay, then so today, what is definition? I mean, how do you define a deflection of a beam? Let us say you consider a beam like this, a cantilever beam over here, and if you apply some kind of loading, either it may be a point load somewhere here, or sometimes it may be UDL also. Okay, then as you apply some load W at on this beam, what happen? This beam will try to deflect downwards like this. Okay, something like this. Then by definition, what is deflection means? Before you apply load, beam was initially a horizontal. Then after application of load, beam has deflected, uh, move to final position, say like this. If you consider at any point x, before bending and after bending, the vertical deviation between these two points is nothing but the deflection of that particular beam at that particular point. Okay, and if you draw the deflected curve, it will be like this. This is also called elastic curve. You see, elastic curve or deflected profile, and this nothing but the deflection. And when you observe this diagram, based on this you can simply clearly say, for this particular cantilever beam, if you look into it, deflection at exactly at the free end will be, sorry, fixed end will be 0, and you can get maximum deflection at the free end. Okay, and you can also say that as you move towards the fixed end from the free end, deflection goes on reducing in a curved way. And this is all about deflection. You can also discuss about slope. Let us say I will take a fresh diagram. Yeah, this is a cantilever beam again, and it has applied with some kind of load, let us say a point load only. And again, deflected profile of this beam will be like this. And when you consider, if you want to calculate slope at some point, let us say over here, that means over here. Now what we have to do means, this beam upon bending has bent into an arc of circle, and if you draw a tangent, sorry, a tangent to this curve at this particular point, this tangent if you extend, it will make an angle theta with respect to the initial line horizontal. This theta is nothing but slope at this point. I think I'm clear. Vertical deviation from initial point to final point, the vertical deviation is nothing but deflection. And if you draw a tangent onto the elastic curve at any particular point, and when you project it, it will make some angle theta with respect to initial line. That angle is nothing but a slope. You have to clearly understand the difference between the slope and deflection. Right. Then we have different methods to calculate the deflection of angles. Um right. Those include a double integration method and a Michaelis method, and also a moment area method. There are also other methods, but we are going to discuss mainly about these three. This was actually covered in earlier semester only, deflection of beams, but we are going to revise at a stretch. Just we want to recall those methods. Those will be useful in calculation of proper cantilever or analysis of proper cantilevers. Let us take the first one, double integration method. So here, as we know, proper cantilevers are the statically indeterminate beams. Those require additional equation, and that additional equation can be obtained from this deflection or compatibility equation, that is equation of deflections or slopes. And these may be derived, the deflection formulas may be derived from the either double integration method, Michaelis method, and moment area method. So first one, double integration method, we used to have we have differential equation, that is EI d square y by dx square, d square y by dx square is equal to minus m. This is called differential equation of bending. Here E is nothing but elastic modulus, and I is moment of inertia, and here y is nothing but the deflection, and dy by dx is nothing but slope. M is moment at any section x within anywhere within the beam. And here the main main difference lies at calculation of m when you compare with the double integration method and Michaelis method. Michaelis method is an advancement over double integration method. You can apply for any span. Like in the we used to have in double integration method, let us say this particular beam, this has divided into some two parts. Let us say this is beam ABC. The in between the span BC, equation will be something different, and equation changes slightly for the span A to B. So, right, what happens in the double integration method, we used to calculate for the BC span separately, and if we get a range or x value within the BC, then we'll substitute those values. Otherwise we need to consider AB also. Whereas in the Michaelis method, let us say Michaelis method, a common moment equation for all the spans will be calculated. Let us consider a, for example, let us consider a simply supported beam, like this. It is 10 kilonewtons over here, and similarly another point load of some 5 kilonewtons over here. Okay, then if you want to write this moment equation for this, for the Michaelis method, what happens, RB, this is let us say B, and this is A. Okay, so RB multiplied by a total distance span L minus uh, let us also give some distance. This is 2 meters, 2 meters, and again 3 meters over here, and this is L. Now if you want to write a common equation in Michaelis method, what happens, RB multiplied by total length L up to here, this will be valid up to this span. I'll also give some names, A, B, and this is C and D. Now within the span B to D, this equation holds good. After that, when you consider a section at a distance anywhere in between C and D, then what happens? This has to be separated by a slash, and then at this section X, if you consider section X, if you consider, and let this distance be X from the support B, then what happens? Calculate moment at this B, RB multiplied by X. This will holds good. I'll say X, RB into X. This holds good up to here on also. But in addition, we have to write another equation, minus 5 into X minus 3. Okay, so like this, and if you want to calculate, consider section AC, another slash will be coming, and like this process will be continued in Michaelis method. That is a major difference. And obviously Michaelis method has an advantage over double integration method. And what happens when you substitute this equation over here, and we need to integrate this equation once, and then you will get equation in the form of dy by dx, and you will get an integration constant c1. After that again we need to integrate once again for the second slope equation in order to get the y form, that is deflection equation. Again in this you will get c1 and c2 two integration constant, and we are going to eliminate these two integration constants either in double integration method or Michaelis method by using boundary condition. That is the known values. Generally deflection at a fixed end is 0 for cantilever, and that is our known value. That means if we consider x distance from free end at x is equal to L, that is total length, deflection is 0. That is one condition. And similarly at x is equal to L, slope is also 0. And if you consider a tangent will be exactly horizontal, coinciding with the initial line, therefore no angle, therefore 0 slope at fixed end. Like this we have two conditions: slope at fixed end 0, and similarly deflection at fixed end will also be 0, and therefore those two conditions are applied, and thereby integration constants c1 and c2 are calculated. Then the equations are ready with all unknown, known values, so that if you substitute x value anywhere, you will directly get either slope or deflection at that particular point. So like this Michaelis method or double integration method are calculated, whereas a moment area method is a slightly a different one. um, yeah, now we're going to discuss about moment area method. What happens for the same beam if you consider, let us say, a point load at free end with some 10 kilonewtons, and what happens here, we need to first draw the bending moment diagram for this particular beam. It will be obviously 10 multiplied by, let us say, distance is 4 meters. 4 meters, 10 multiplied by 4, that is 40 over here, and you will get a triangle variation. Now what we are going to do, according to Morse theorem, we use Morse theorem in moment area method. Morse first theorem and second theorem. Morse first theorem states that slope is equal to area of bending moment diagram by flexural rigidity EI, and similarly the second one, deflection. Morse second theorem states that deflection is equal to area, first moment of area, that is A multiplied by x bar by EI. EI will give you deflection at any point. So based on these two formulas, we are going to calculate either slope or deflection for any beam, either it is a cantilever beam or a simply supported beam. And for cantilever beam we are going to consider this entire diagram, because when you draw a cantilever beam like this, when you draw a cantilever beam subject to point load or any kind of load, then deflection diagram will be something like this. And if you want to calculate a maximum deflection between starting and ending point, what happens, you need to consider 2 points, one exactly over the exactly over the fixed end, and if you draw tangent it will be like this, and another one point is to be considered exactly at the fixed end, and if you draw a tangent it will exactly match with the initial line. And therefore and also considering a reference line is to be considered exactly at the free end, and therefore if you make an intercept, consider intercept, that will exactly be equal to maximum deflection. Okay, like this. And even for theta also we need to consider two points, and generally for cantilever beam we are going to consider 2 points. One is on the extreme ends, that is exactly at the free end one point, and another at the fixed end. But 1 minute. But for a simply supported beam, if you consider, and this can also only be applied for a symmetrically loaded simply supported beam, let us say a simple supported beam loaded with some W at its midpoint. What happens if you draw a bending moment diagram? It will be a triangle with central value of WL by 4. We know that. Okay, now here if you draw the deflection curve or elastic curve deflection diagram, it will be like this, and exactly under the load or at the midpoint, one tangent is to be considered for Morse theorem and another tangent exactly to be considered at the one of the support, and thereby if you consider a reference line, intercept made at the right hand side is nothing but the maximum deflection. So here what happens, main thing to observe is 2 points to be considered, one at exactly at the free center of the support and one exactly at the support, one of the support. So therefore only half of the simply supported bending moment diagram is to be considered in simply supported beam, whereas in cantilever beam the entire bending moment diagram is considered. That is a major difference, right? Now, yeah, we have also covered what is prompt cantilever and what is statically determinate, and just we want to revise all those. By definition, what is a prompt cantilever beam? A cantilever beam often with sometimes it may be supported with one extra support or extra prop we'll call in order to reduce the deflections and increase the load carrying capacity. So here this is a normal cantilever beam. Anywhere within the span, if one roller is placed, it is equivalent to a proper cantilever beam. But what happens here, it will become a statically indeterminate beam with this addition of one support. Okay, let us also discuss about statically determinate beams and indeterminate beams. As we discussed in the earlier classes, statically determinate beams are those in which all the external forces or reactions can be calculated by using equilibrium equations alone. Whereas in statically indeterminate beams, equilibrium equations are not sufficient to calculate the all unknown values or reactions of a particular beam. Then what happens? Additional equation. Where do you get those additional equations to calculate the additional reactions? Are nothing but we need to develop all those from the deflection and slope equation. That is the idea. Okay. And how do we calculate the prop reaction? So simple, if you understand one extra equation, where do you get from? That is the actual solution. So what happens here? Let us say a proper cantilever beam. Proper cantilever beam without prop, with all additional load, without prop, we are going to calculate the direct what is the downward deflection. Let us say this is some delta D downwards, delta D. Okay. Similarly, we are going to, in the second step, we are going to calculate by applying only prop reaction P, what is the upward deflection. If you remove complete load and only upward prop in the form of a load P is applied, then we are going to calculate this upward deflection. Let us say it is delta U. Okay, and we know that at the final position deflection diagram will be, you will get zero deflection exactly under the exactly at the prop. Therefore we have a direct equation that delta D plus delta U is equal to 0, right? So like this, from this equation we are going to get the we are going to calculate this prop reaction, right? Now we are ready with the all basics, and we are going to solve some problems. The first one goes, a cantilever beam AB of span 4 meters, which is fixed at A and propped at B, and it carries a point load of 10 kilonewtons at its midspan. Find the prop reaction and also the draw the shear force and bending moment diagram. Now here this is a question, and here we have a solution. Right. So let us try to draw the diagram based on the given data. A cantilever beam AB 4 meters, which is fixed at A and propped at B. It is something like this. A cantilever with 4 meters span. Fixed at A and propped at B, so this will be A, and we have a prop reaction exactly at B, like this, prop at B, okay, and it carries a 10 kilonewtons point load exactly at the center, a point load of 10 kilonewton exactly at a mid span. Now find the prop reaction and the shear force diagram. So this is the question. Now what we are going to calculate is what is the downward deflection due to this load alone. That is our first step. Downward deflection due to 10 kilonewton load, not under the point load but at the free end, that is a propped support at B. So we are going to remove this prop and allow it to deflect downwards, and we are going to take what is the amount of deflection exactly at a free end B or prop to support B. And we have a formula for this calculation developed based on either moment area method or using double integration or Michaelis method. We have a direct formula WA cube by 3EI plus WA square by 2A into L minus A, where this distance is nothing but A, the distance between fixed support and the point load, and where our overall length is L. And as this is 4 meters, exactly mid means this is 2, and L minus A, the other portion, will also be equal to 2. Now we can substitute W as 10 multiplied by L cube. L is nothing but A cube, A is nothing but 2 meters, so 2 cube by 3A plus W into A square by 2A, so W 10, and A 2 square by 2A into L minus A, again this distance total 4 minus 2, that will also get as 2, right? So now you can substitute, you can calculate the all terms, 80 by 3A, and this will come to 40 by EI, and when you calculate it is 200 by 3A. Let us say this is considered as equation 1. And now what happens, we have just calculated downward deflection due to this load, and in the second step we are going to calculate upward deflection due to this prop reaction P alone. Okay, so second step, for upward deflection due to prop P, again at B, we have a direct formula. When a point load is applied at the free end, we have a maximum deflection formula WL cube by 3A, like this, WL cube by 3A. So here in place of W you can substitute P, but in the opposite direction, upward direction. So PL cube by 3A, and we have the value of L, therefore let us substitute L value as 4, P 4 cube by 3A, and you can simplify 64P by 3A, let us say this is equation 2, right? And we know that from compatibility equation, or by observing elastic curve, we have a, if you draw this elastic curve for this particular beam, we'll have a zero deflection exactly at the prop end, free end. Therefore final deflection should be 0, but we have separated into a summation of upward load and downward load, and therefore when you add these two equal to 0, or otherwise these two must be equal and opposite. Therefore when you equating the equation 1 and 2 to find the P, first equation 200 by 3A, and the second one 64P by 3I, and from this if you want to calculate P, simplify 200 by 3A into 3A by 64, when you calculate it is 3.125 kilonewton. So like this is the procedure to calculate the prop reaction for any kind of beam. It will be same for any beam. Now, now it is also asked to draw the shear force diagram and bending moment diagram. Once you have calculated this prop reaction, it is just equivalent as a cantilever beam with one load as downward load at some point and another load at end, free end, that is upward load. It is just like a simple cantilever beam if you know the value of proper cantilever, right? Okay, so now let us calculate the support reaction at A. We have support reaction at B, that is proper reaction. And how to calculate the support reaction at A? Simple, total upward load is equal to total downward load. Right. So total upward load is equal to total downward load, and from that equation, total downward load, if you observe in this particular problem, it is only 10 kilotons, and whereas upward load is summation of RA plus RB, that is P. Therefore, RA is equal to simply 10 minus the answer 3.125, and you can calculate it is as 6.875 kilotons, that is RA, or support reaction at A. Now you can draw the shear force diagram based on these two values, and we'll draw at the end of this problem. Let us also calculate the bending moment calculations. Right, if you observe this, we have in total 3 points B, A, and let us consider some C at middle. Yeah, bending moment at B will always be 0 kilonewton meter, because we have any kind of load but distance is 0. But based on definition, moment is nothing but load multiplied by perpendicular distance. So distance is 0, therefore 0 kilonewton meter at B. Let us consider moment at C. We'll go back. Yeah, here if you want to calculate moment at C, then let us consider from the free end. P prop reaction multiplied by this distance is nothing but 2, and it is going to create a counterclockwise moment, whereas point load 10 kilonewtons at C, but no distance 0, therefore it will do not create a moment, or it will create a 0 moment over C. So therefore we left over with only um, one moment, that is 3.125 multiplied by 2. Therefore 3.125 multiplied by 2, that will come to 6.25 kilonewton meter. Right. Next, bending moment at A. Again we'll go back. At A, bending moment is nothing but P multiplied by total distance is 4, and this will create a counterclockwise moment about A, whereas due to this point load at C, it will create a clockwise moment about A. So 3.125 multiplied by 4 minus 10 multiplied by 2 will give you bending moment at A. You can see over here 3.125 multiplied by 3.125 multiplied by 4 minus 10 multiplied by 2, that will come to minus 7.5 kilonewton meter. Now with these values, you will be able to draw the bending moment diagram and shear force diagram. Let us also calculate the point of contraflexure. Point of contraflexure. Point of contraflexure is a point where bending moment changes its sign from positive to negative or vice versa. Positive to negative or vice versa. So therefore, exactly at the point of contraflexure, bending moment will be 0, and therefore let us consider a section at that particular place. We are going to calculate the bending moment and make it equal to 0, and thereby the distance x can be calculated. So see here, let x be the distance between A and D, A and C actually. 3.125 multiplied by 4 minus some x, similarly minus 10 multiplied by 2 minus x. So in this problem, x is considered from fixed support. Therefore, 3.125 minus 4 into x, and 10 multiplied by 2 into x is equal to 0. And you can simplify 12.5 minus 3.125 into x minus 20, minus of minus will plus 10 multiplied by x is equal to 0, and you can simplify minus 7.5 plus 6.875 into x is equal to 0, and therefore x will be 7.5 divided by 6.875, that is 1.09 meters. Yeah, now we have a point of contemplation that will occur at a distance of 1.05, right, sorry, 09 meters from fixed end, or 4 minus that answer, that is 2.91 meters from the free end B. Now, if you observe, this is the actual question. A cantilever beam subject to central point load of 10 kilonewtons and total span 4 meters. For this is a shear force diagram, and this is the bending moment diagram. You can see this is the point of contact pressure. X distance is 1.09. Yeah, let us consider one more problem. The second problem, a horizontal cantilever beam. This is the question actually. Q2, sorry, 2, and this is solution. Yeah, a horizontal cantilever beam of 100 mm by 150 mm deep, and yeah, we'll go back, 100 mm by 150 mm deep and 3 meter span is subjected to a UDL of 10 kN per meter over its entire span. If it is propped at the free end to the level of fixed end, find the prop reaction and also draw the shear force and bending moment. Take E is equal to 10 kN per mm square. Right. So here these are the dimensions of beam. If you consider a cross section, it is like a rectangle with 100 mm as width and 150 mm as depth. But why these details are given, right? In order to calculate moment of inertia for a cross section I, when you take a rectangular section, I can be obtained by B d cube by 12, isn't it? So B d cube by 12, wherein we require B and D value. Those are the values given over here. So for calculating I, these are required, and E is separately given to you. We have both E and I values like this. Okay. Now a 3 meter span subject to a UDL of 10 kN per meter over its entire span, if it is proper at the free, yeah. So now again it is like a cantilever beam. Now this time it carries a UDL on entire span, like magnitude 10 kilonewton per meter. Okay, so 10 kilonewton per meter. Yes, 10 kilonewton per meter, and span is 3 meters. Yes, the span we have as 3 meters. Now this is the question. It is proper at the free end. Yeah, prop need to be drawn some with P as prop. Now again, the first step is always to calculate downward deflection due to the UDL or point load. This is number one. So without the prop, calculate downward deflection due to UDL at the free end. And if you remove this prop reaction, what happens? Cantilever subject to UDL throughout. For this particular case, what is the maximum deflection at the free end? To calculate the maximum deflection at the free hand, we have WL power 4 by 8A. This is the formula. Again, where do we get this from? We have either a double integration method or Michaelis method or moment area method. When you apply those, you will get this particular formulas. WL power 4 by 8A. Right. Now we need to substitute the values. W is nothing but UDL. W is 10 over here, and L overall span, that is 3 power 4 by 8A, and you can calculate 810 by 8A. Let us say this is equation 1. Right now we have calculated downward deflection at the free end due to load, and second step is to calculate upward deflection due to prop reaction alone without any kind of load in the upward direction. Now it is like a point load at the free end, so therefore when you apply a point load at the free end for a cantilever beam, what is the deflection formula? Again it is PL cube by 3I, and this is again obtained from the basics, that is double integration or Michaelis method or moment area method. So from here L we can have as 3 meters, we can substitute P into 3 cube by 3I. We don't have P value in prop reaction, that is to be calculated, and therefore if we simplify 9p by ei, this is equation 2. But as from earlier discussion also, equating 1 and 2, this should always be equal but in opposite direction. Therefore equating equation 1 and 2 to find the p, 810 by 80i is equal to 9p by ei. That is equal to P is equal to, when you calculate, EIA gets cancelled, 810 by 8 by 9, that is 11.25 kilonewtons as a prop reaction will get at the uh, prop end. Now having calculated the prop reaction, to calculate reaction at fixed support, again it is simple, total upward load is equal to total downward load, and total downward load we have a UDL 10 per meter, that is total 3 meters, 10 multiplied by 3, 30. Therefore 30 minus 11.25 will give you 18.75 kilonewtons as a vertical reaction at the fixed support. So this is a vertical reaction at the fixed support. Now we have two loads and two reactions and load. Based on those values, let us calculate the shear force values. First one is shear force at B. It is simply a prop reaction 11.25 kilonewtons. Next we have shear force at A. It is simply total load minus prop reaction, nothing but a reaction at the fixed support 18.75. Now let us calculate a point where shear force changes its sign. Now again it has a significance. So why we need to calculate at a point where shear force changes its sign? Because maximum bending moment will always occurs at a point where shear force changes its sign. So here we are going to find out this point. From this it will be helpful to draw the shear force diagram, as well as we can get the maximum bending moment location also, right? So let us calculate the shear force point where shear force changes its sign. Let us consider a section x anywhere. Now 11.25 minus 10 into x is equal to 0. Likewise we have considered a section, we go back to the diagram, right? Let us say this is a section xx at a distance x, yeah, x from prop or free end. Now at this particular place we are going to write a shear force diagram. It is simply P minus 10 into x, and we are going to equate it to 0, thereby we will find out x value. At x is equal to simply 11.25 by 10, that is 1.125 from the point B. Now we have all the values, and with these values also we can draw the shear force diagram. Right, let us go to the bending moment calculations. Bending moment at B for cantilever beams and simply supported beams, bending moment at both ends, bending moment at free end, or for in case of simply supported beam at both the ends also 0, because there is only force but no distance, 0 kilonewton meter. And let us calculate the bending moment at A. We'll go back to the diagram. Now if we consider this as A, bending moment at A is equal to prop reaction multiplied by total distance, that is 11.25 multiplied by total distance 3 minus 10 into 3 into 3 by 2, isn't it? Yeah, here 11.25 into 3 minus 10 into 3 into 3 by 2, you can simplify, it is 11.25 kilonewton meter. And let us also calculate the maximum bending moment. We have a location of maximum bending moment, that is 1.125 meters from B. So as we know this x value, we can substitute over here 11.25 into x minus 10 into x by 2, and x value is 1.125, and if you substitute the value and calculate, it is 6.328 kilometer meter. Yeah, when you compare this value with this 11.25, obviously more, but this is positive maximum bending moment and this is negative maximum bending moment. Don't be confused. Now, to find the position of counterflexure, yeah, it is also very important to draw. And in the question, bending, if you draw the bending, it is asked to draw the bending moment diagram, means you need to locate all the salient points, including counterflexure. What is point of counterflexure? It is a point where bending moment changes its sign. In other words, bending moment must be zero at that particular place. When you cross, when a curve crosses, it's negative to positive. Exactly at that particular point, bending moment is zero. Therefore, we'll write a general equation for bending moment and make it equal to zero. Right? Again, we'll go back to diagram. With the same action, section x is considered. Now, writing general equation for bending moment, prop reaction multiplied by x minus 10 into x square by 2. Right? You can sorry. Yeah. Bending moment 11.25 into x minus 10 into a into 10 into minus 10 into a by 2, and when you simplify, a will be equal to 2.25 meters. Again, it's from support B, right? Yeah, this is a actual fixed end, and this is a load diagram, and this is shear force diagram, and this is the bending moment diagram. You can see 11.25, 18.75, x distance, it is nothing but we'll go back. X distance is 1.125, this is 1.125 x, and a is nothing but 2.25 meters from support B. Let us take one more problem, problem 3 or question 3, and this is the solution, right? We have like a proper cantilever beam 6 meter span is subject to UDL over its entire span. If it is proper at the free end to the level of fixed end, calculate the proper reaction, and when the cantilever carries 12 kN per meter, and draw the shear force and bending moment diagram showing all the salient points. Right, this is a question, and from the given question, first we need to draw a neat sketch like this: a cantilever beam with length of 6 meters as a span, right? 6 meters, and subject to UDL over entire span. Let us draw the UDL, uniformly distributed load, over its entire span like this. UDL over entire span with a value of some 12 kilonewton per meter, right? It is 12 kilonewton per meter, and prop reaction, calculate the prop reaction. Yeah, prop will be placed at the free end. Now this is a question. So from this, bending moment due to UDL at okay. So here, right here we are going to follow moment area method for this particular beam. Therefore, calculating bending moment due to UDL at A. And if you draw the bending moment diagram for a cantilever beam without prop reaction, it will be something like this, with a curve parabola, okay, parabola over here, right? And at this fixed end, at this at this end A fixed end, and let us say this is B. At the end A, you have, without this prop load, prop let us say prop reaction is P. Without this prop, we have a bending moment diagram like this: 12 multiplied by 6 multiplied by 6 by 2, that will be 216 kilometer per meter over here. This value, vertical ordinate, is 216 kilometer per meter. Now reaction due to prop RB, this we are going to find out. For this, what we have to do, consider downward deflection due to UDL only, right? So without the prop, downward deflection due to UDL at the free end, right? So here, to calculate this using Morse or moment area method, what we have to do, calculate um, area of moment, area of M by A diagram between A and B. Okay, and this is a like a parabola, upward parabola. Therefore, area of this particular diagram is 1/3 base into height. So that is 1/3, base is 6 and height is here EI should be there. I is missing, so I, and yeah, 216 by EI is a height and 6 is a base, and multiplied by uh, actually it is moment area, moment of area of the diagram, that is A x bar, that is A up to here multiplied by x bar is nothing but for this type of parabola, the distance from free end to here centroid will be 3 by 4 times L. So 3 by 4 6, and when you simplify it will come to 1944 by EI, like 1944 by EI. You can also get this value by simply substituting the formula WL power 4 by 8EI, either from double integration method or Michaelis method, calculated direct formula. But you can also proceed moment area method like this also. Then we are going to calculate the upward deflection due to prop at B. Yeah, this is a bending moment for load alone, and when you consider the second one, upward deflection, upward bending moment due to prop, for the same value, it will be like this: a triangle with a value PL over here. So therefore, moment of M by A diagram between A and B for the prop about B, simply as it is a triangle, area of this triangle will be half into base into length. Base is 6 meters, half, and here you will get 6 multiplied by this prop reaction RB. Okay, so 6 multiplied by RB by I into 6, and for a triangle at the for the centroid distance we have 2/3, therefore 2/3 into 6, and all these will you substitute and simplify 72 times RB by EI you will get. So again, either you can use WL cube by EI, that will also result in the same answer. Now we have to equate these two equations 1 and 2, equating 1 and 2 to find P or RB. 72 RB by EI is equal to 1944 by EI. Is that from this RB or prop reaction you will get as a 27 kilonewtons. Now, having calculated the prop reaction, how to calculate the reaction at A? It is simply total load, that is 12 UDL per meter multiplied by 6 will give you total load. 12 into 6 by minus 27, that is 45 kilonewtons. Prop reaction at the fixed support. Now let us calculate the shear force values. Shear force at B is simply prop reaction, and shear force at A, again 12 minus 6 minus 27, that will give you 45 kilonewton. And let us let a shear force changes its sign at a distance x from B. That x we are going to calculate for calculation of maximum bending moment also. Right, 0 is equal to 27 minus 12 into x. From this, x can be calculated as 27 by 12, that will be 2.24 meters from support B. With these values you can draw the shear force diagram, and then we'll move on to the bending moment values. Bending moment at B will always be 0 for a proper cantilever beam, and let us calculate for bending moment at A. We'll go back to the diagram. Bending moment at A is equal to prop reaction multiplied by 6. This will create a counterclockwise moment about A, minus 12 into 6 into half of the distance, 6 by 2, that will create a clockwise moment about A, therefore negative sign. Right, 27 into 6 minus 12 into 6 into 6 by 2, and you can calculate it is 30.375 kilonewton meter. And uh, maximum bending moment also you can calculate in a similar way. but here distance is to be replaced with this value. Sorry, it was written wrong. 2.25, 27 multiplied by 2.25 minus 12 multiplied by 2.25 into 2.25 by 2, and if you calculate it is minus 54 kilonewton meter. No, so this is actually moment at A, like this moment at A, and this is actually my moment. Now let us also calculate the position of point of contraflexure. Bending moment, point of contraflexure is a point where bending moment changes its sign from negative to positive, and therefore exactly at that particular point bending moment will be 0. And let us consider a section X or section AA where bending moment is 0. Therefore 27 multiplied by A minus 12 into A square by 2 is equal to 0. So from this you can calculate A as 4.5 meters from support B, and this is a diagram. This is first one is a load diagram, a cantilever beam with a entire UDL and propped at free end. Now the first one, middle one is shear force diagram, and the last is a bending moment diagram. Point of contraflexion is 4.5 from support B, and that is 1.5 meters from support A. So I think with this we have completed today's class, and let us rewind fastly quickly. We have discussed about different methods of deflection of beams and what is deflection, slope and deflection, and we have also revised what is meant by proper cantilever and how proper reaction can be calculated, and what are the statical determinate beams and the indeterminate beams. After that we have calculated problems for calculation of proper reaction as well as drawing shear force and bending moment diagram. Right, hope this lesson is useful to you, and we'll meet in the next class with some more problems. Thank you very much.